All right, it's time to put the Corvette seat. Wait a second. That doesn't look right. Hey, everybody, welcome back. So today, let me explain what's going on here. I want to start putting the interior back together. Needs a little bit of work. And so I don't mess all this up, this insulation. I want to get a seat in here also so I can fiddle around, in here and not be like kneeling in here and tear this all up. So I bought this plastic seat from Jags. I'll show you the info. You can find these really easy though. It's this thing, Pro High Back Race Seat. Ooh, in black. Super light. It's made of plastic. A little dangerous if your car catches on fire, but I'm not going to let that happen. It's got these 6 mounting threads, holes, and I'm going to use 2 of them, this one and this one. And I'm going to mount it in a very simple way to the car. And so what I'm doing, and this is just temporary, so I can sit in here and work on it. I've got this 1x1 steel. Incidentally, there's a place in LA called Industrial Metal Supply. I got 10 feet of this 1x1 for $22. Just as a reference, 3 feet at Home Depot is 27 bucks. So there you go. Nothing against Home Depot, but I'm just saying. So what I'm going to do right now is locate the holes, since I covered them up hastily and completely. I'm going to go into the car. I got my creeper out. I'm going to poke these nails through. And then I'm going to check the thread sizes, because I think they're all the same, but I don't trust anything anymore. I'm going to verify. So in case I need to go get some bolts, which I probably will, because what I'm going to do here has nothing to do with the stock setup. I'm just going to put... Hello. Oh, really? Keep dropping these. Hang on. Let me retrieve my nails. I mean, it's similar, but it's different. So I'm going to run 2 rails up, front to back. I have to build... I'll get to this in a minute, but I got to do a little welding because the back one has 2 holes. And so I got to put a little piece of plate there, which I also bought. And the front one is 1 hole. So I'm just going to go straight through the 1x1 in the front. And then in the back, I put the plates. But there's 6 bolts. Probably just need 4. I mean, it's not for driving around. This is just for, well, I may drive it a little with this seat. This seat is going to be in here because the interior is obviously not put together. And I don't want to put my good seat in when I'm just taking the car down to like get the front end aligned, or I may even leave it in for a minute to go get the transmission worked on. All the stuff I need to do. Well, I just said 2 things that have nothing to do with the interior, but I'm just going to leave this seat in so I can work on the car until like all the dash is pretty much in, and then it's ready to put the carpet in and then put the real seats in. So that's the plan. Anyway, let me go put these nails through and I'll be right back. All right. What is the number? Anybody know? You want to guess? It is 5/16, 18. All right. So I found 4 holes, like I mentioned. Or did I mention? No. Yes, I did. I don't know if there's 6. I thought that, because on the seats, I'll show you on the seats, there's a bracket and there's a hole on each side. But maybe, see, now I don't know. Now I got to ask the community or go look it up. But I checked here and it's blocked off. There's no hole there. I guess I could tear this up and look, but we're going to find out in a second. I'll tell you. Be right back. Before we answer the question, I want to show you guys, that's what the back of the seat looks like. So there's a hole there and there's a hole there. But maybe they're not used. I don't know. I'm going to find out. Okay, so here we are on seats, page, I guess that's 17. I can't tell. And it's a little confusing here. I don't think it's a huge mystery. It looks like there are 2 bolts or screws. They're calling them screws. Yeah, I guess it's a screw. I think it's a bolt that go down, one on the outside and one in the middle. I'm not seeing anything going into the inside except this one there. I don't know what that is, like a plate, but then there's nothing here. And I don't know where this is. I don't know what's going on over here. Maybe it's ricocheting off. I have no idea. But it looks like, yeah, the seats are just held in with the front and the outside. Which makes sense. I mean, if you're trying to take the seats off, it'd be hard to get in there on the inside. So I'm going to go with that for now, unless I hear different. 2 bolts holding the seats down. First thing is to cut. And look at my friend, my neighbor. What a guy. He loaned me this Milwaukee bandsaw, so I don't have to have sparks flying all over, and I can cut this tubing nice and quiet with no sparks. So I'm going to cut 2 pieces of 18 and we'll see how they're fitting. So I got a pro tip for you guys. When you mark something with tape to where you're going to cut it, make sure you remember which side of the tape make sure you remember which side of the tape you were supposed to cut it on, because that can make the difference. That makes the difference between being, I don't know, 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches off. Oh my God, I'm an idiot. Good thing I got like 6 more feet of this stuff. So I'll use this on one of the cross pieces. It's okay. No harm, no foul. All right, I need 1 more 18. So yes, I've got to probably, actually, I can do a shorter rail, and then I have to put some plate on the bottom. On both of these, I've got to elevate. I was hoping it'd be a little more simple than that. And I guess this is just here, this inside one is just there for support, and then you put the bolt through the outside. Okay, guys, well, it's going to be more complicated than I was hoping. I was hoping I could just bolt those little rails in, but that's not going to happen. Okay, so after cutting these 18 inches, here's what I realized. I could have cut them shorter, because I've got to weld a little piece of plate onto the front of this, because this whole thing is angled here, and I can't just bolt this down like that. So I'm gonna back it up a little. We'll put a piece of plate in the front like that. I'll put the hole there, and then in the regular seats, it's actually elevated. This would be elevated a little, but we're not doing any kind of forward and backward slider motion, so I just need something that'll sit. So what I'm going to do is I'll do that. This will be at a slight angle, hopefully a little bit off the floor, but whatever, little slight angle. And then I need to put a little riser back here, which maybe I can just use a piece of this and go straight down, and then I'll go over with a piece of plate on the side like that. All right, I assumed these were metric threads on the seat, but apparently they are not. They're SAE. Any guess? Anybody? Anybody? Let's see. 3/8/16 is the winner. All right, so 3/8/16 on the Jag seat. All right. That's what I got going. I used the piece that I took off of the front and put it on the back like that. Let's see if it fits. Let's get the front in. Also, the front is just bent a tiny bit. So we're just gonna put these in for a little test fit. We'll keep it a little loose for right now. catching. Is it catching? It's hard to tell. It's kind of hard to put in, but that's good. It lines up. All right, so that's one. I think that's gonna work pretty well. Okay, I've got this piece prepared for the inside of the car. Got that bend in it. I made this piece. And it's a little longer because I think it just is gonna end up being a longer throw over there from what I gathered from before doing my measurements. So let's get this one, get that kind of lined up. And then what I'll do is I have to go grab my tape measure, but we're gonna put this there. And we'll put these magnets. These things work great. Just a couple magnets with tape on them. I can kind of stick them on each side and they will hold all that together. And then I just carefully remove it once I get the hole lined up. Looks like it's pretty good, actually. It's in the ballpark. So I'm just gonna get that lined up on the hole there. But then I also, before I do that, I want to make sure these are somewhat parallel. I mean, I'm not going for perfection here, but I just want to get my tape measure. So I'm going to measure these and make sure those are parallel, and then I will place the support piece and then we'll weld it up. Okie dokie, let's take a look. I did round that corner just because this was a little tight over here. And here's what our back looks like. Everything's good. These are super solid, you guys. Now it's time to cut the cross pieces. We're gonna have a piece going across the back and a piece going across the front, and those need to be about 16.5 inches long. So we're just gonna cut those. Okay, here's the brackets on the bottom of the seat. A little bit more hassle to make than I had anticipated because the distance between these bolt holes is not the same all the way up the seat. You got to measure them individually, but no harm, no foul. I got a little rubber in there because also that one spot was raised a little, but I think this did the trick. See the bottom of the seat is really uneven, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. We got these in place. I'm gonna go stick this in the car now, and we're just gonna kind of see where we're at with these things, and then the next step would be to do a little test fit just in the car, just gonna get the seat in a normal position, average position. All right, got about this much clearance to the deck lid, and what's happening under here is this cross piece is lining up just in front of that bracket, which is good. And let me get this out of the way. And I got plenty of room up here. It's not totally sitting flush. It's like a table at a restaurant where you need to put a little sugar packet under it. That's okay. It's just a little tiny bit. I'm deciding now whether I want to try to drill all the way through these. I did get 2.5-inch bolts because I thought I would just drill through, which I may do, but it really takes a toll on your drill bits, drilling through all this steel. But my plan was to put bolts coming up, but I'm kind of leaning now towards doing that edge, doing the slice here, so I can just put the bolt through, you know, after the bottom, just put a bolt there like I did on these. I can't decide. Yeah, I don't know. I do have the hardware to do it, but either way, I guess I just got to make a decision. All right, I'll think about it, and then you'll see what I decide. As far as a forwards and backwards positioning, I think I kind of have to go with this because I can't go any farther back unless I go way back, like way back here. I could do that, but that seems a little far back. I guess I'll just do that and check it, and just to see if I'm kind of far away from the pedals. I don't want to be too far, obviously. Probably better to be a little more forward than too far back since it's a manual. So I'll check that and we'll figure that out. All right, I'm sitting in the seat. This is about, don't look, I'm shy. It's not too bad. It's where the handbrake is, you know, it's where it should be. I feel like this is reasonable. Let's see what the Speedo says. Speedo says yes. So I think this is fine. I mean, it's, you know, got a little bend and probably could be back a tiny bit. I actually want the seat to be reclined a little, but whatever, it's fine. All right, the final showdown. What I just did, I decided to do, you guys, is I went ahead and threaded these holes. Instead of putting bolts through, I decided I'm going to just put in some bolts from the top. That'll make it easy, and it's plenty strong. I use these 5/16 grade 8 bolts. It'll be fine. I'm not doing much with this seat except kind of fiddling around with the car, and then, you know, it'll get replaced pretty soon. So I got these bolts. Here, let me show you the seat. So I went ahead and cut the angles, drilled some holes, and now I'm going to fit it. So hopefully it all goes together. Let's see. All right. It actually fit. Unbelievable. Now, I don't know. I think this might be a little bit higher than stock. I know the bottom looks super high, but actually this seat is not very thick compared to the stock seat. The stock seat has, you know, this much foam. So there it is, you guys. I didn't put washers, you know, it's just one more thing to fiddle with. And it's really sturdy, super sturdy. Yeah, I mean, there's just no movement at all. So yeah, there you go. Temporary seat. And I think what I might also do, as long as I've got this frame in here, is I might just put a piece of wood on that, you know, just so I can kind of crawl around in here and not mess up the floor. So I'll put a pad over there, and I'll probably put like a little platform here, because I know I'm going to be getting in and out a lot and fiddling around. But for now, at least I have this, and I can pop it in easy anytime. Just 4 1/2-inch bolts. Super happy with the way this turned out. And I am, you know, I don't have a machine shop or anything. I don't really have any experience doing this. It's all just hand tools. You saw what I did, pretty much. It's just a grinder, a saw, a drill, tap and die, you know, or a tap. And that's it. Success, easy. And I used, just FYI, I used 6.5 feet of the tubing, which cost me about 13 bucks. 10 feet cost me 22. I used a few bolts. Actually, I had all these bolts. I bought some other bolts, which I ended up not using. So I didn't even have to buy bolts. So I basically built this for the cost of the seat, which was about $85 delivered, and like, you know, 12 or 15 more dollars. And about, well, I'm in and out a lot. I'm going back and forth. I'm not an expert, so I'm changing my plans. I would say I got about 4 to 5 hours of work into this thing. So yeah, not super efficient, but I mean, for my time. But then I'm doing this to learn, and now I can brag also, I think. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Okay, guys, like it if you like it. Good luck with your projects. See you later.